trying to keep, it's coming right at me. Look at, he can't even fight. Isn't that gorgeous?
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala Premium Fishing Gear, crafted from experience. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Dickies, guaranteed workwear since 1922. Lucky Strike, more fish bite with a Lucky Strike.
This is amazing. You know, you get into this thick stuff, and I've just been dropping worms down there because you can see all the grass that's laying down over there. And this little guy was right underneath one of those mats. You know, when you're fishing heavy cover like this, and you can see that we've got heavy cover and then real heavy cover like that, you really got to choose your presentation. You can see why I'm using that heavy line. Look at all these weeds, and I was able to pull that fish out pretty quick, and he's not big. That guy's about a pound. But look at how vibrant the colors are. They've got such an interesting habitat where they live here. It's just amazing. So I'm just going to drop them back in the water. And as I'm re-rigging, I'll explain to you a little bit what I'm doing here. So you can see we've got probably hundreds of acres here of grass flats. And I've been casting that weedless spoon where you get the sparser water. But because we've got some overcast skies, these fish are going in and out of this heavy cover. So what's happened here, the wind has blown some of the biggest vegetation down, and you can see that it's laying almost like a mat. So all I'm doing is taking this with a 1/16 ounce head, a small one, and dropping it inside the pockets. Watch, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to put my glasses on, because sometimes I won't see the fish hit, but I'll see my pink worm disappear as soon as I drop it. And that means obviously that a fish has taken it. So I'm going to get real close. And I'm only going to take about maybe 15 feet of line, like this. And this is actually called flipping or pitching. And I'm going to toss my worm in the pockets. Come on out of there. Have I got him hooked? You know, the funny thing is, you cannot get into the weeds. So look at, I'm planing him, and because I don't want to lift some of the bigger fish with the light hook, I'm using this new net from Lucky Strike. Look it, I've got grass and a bass. We're going to call this grass bass. Grass bass in a basket. And you know, we've been watching a bittern here. He's still there, the little sneak. So I'm kind of stuck here in the weeds. That guy's about 2.5 pounds. And I've just been plunking. I just missed a fish there. Cast back to a pocket that I fished a little earlier because I didn't get a fish there, but it looks good. And here's another one. And you can see, you know, these weeds are like hemp. You can actually make rope out of it. You can see how well that fish is hooked. That hook went just through the upper jaw. It's going to pop it out there. And they're so healthy. That's what gets me about the bass in here. You know, you can see they take on the color of the surroundings. So in this case, there's like no rocks in here. It's all really lush green vegetation. But look at this net. Isn't that cute? Because believe it or not, sometimes the fish will take you down with a round net. You can't get in at them. So this net is actually a little bit more oval shape. And look at how shallow the basket is. So it's one of the live release nets, and it's got a little extendable or telescopic handle. So it's handy for this kind of fishing. Now I'm going to see if I can get him back down, find a pocket here. Man, this is going to be tough. Maybe here, because you can see how thick the weeds are. Oh, he's trying to go through the net. Calm down, calm down. He's got tons of energy. Trying to flip him around. Okay, there he goes, right through the weeds. Now see what's interesting. I was in this area pre-fishing yesterday, and I was fishing the sparser weeds and the open water that's out here right in front of me. And I had lots of fish come up and hit the weedless spoon. But today, because it's a little bit brighter, yesterday I had to put my full suit, rain suit on because it was pouring so hard. So I guess the fish were out cruising, out in the open. Today though, because we've got brighter skies, the fish are holding really underneath this heavy cover. So this Texas rig worm is the ticket here. As you can see, what I'm doing here is trying to get re-rigged. The key when you're rigging a Texas rig is to make sure that the hook is hidden, number one. Number two, that the worm is as straight as possible, especially when you're talking about this vegetation. So see how straight that worm is hanging? It doesn't have a lot of bends in it, because we want it to penetrate down in between some of this heavy cover.
Dickey's Sport Fishing Sweepstakes.
I was with my dad. It was an awesome day on the water. Drilled my hole, set up my tip-ups. It was all set and done by about 7:15. About 10 minutes later, I saw my last tip-up go down, so I raced to it, set the hook, fish on, Dad. I pulled that big walleye in. I was pumped. It was an unforgettable moment for me, not only because of my catch, but most importantly, spending the day on the hard water with my dad.
We'd love to hear your fishing story. Go to our website and enter the Dickey's Sport Fishing Sweepstakes. It's free, and you could win some great prizes.